Well, greetings and good morning, Business 20 students. This is Mr.D, and this is week number 6 in our 8-week course in business mathematics here at Norco College. So we only have 2 more weeks after this week. And the second week, week 8, is actually not even a full week. So keep that in mind. But this week, we're going to be looking at inventory and depreciation, chapters 16 and 17. Inventory is something that is very important to keep track of because there's a cost or a value to that inventory, and that cost actually goes against you if you have too much inventory still on hand, or if you've sold it. All that needs to be figured. How much value is that inventory, because that does become an asset. It also could decrease your taxes. So there's a important reason for calculating your inventory, and you're going to learn the 3 or 4 primary ways of doing that. And then depreciation, same thing. You have a value on your books for an asset that you've purchased, but that asset depreciates over time. So the value of it doesn't remain the same, which it's important to kind of depreciate that off of your books as an asset. And that way it'll lower your taxes, things like that. So these are both very important when it comes to your financial statements. And in fact, we're kind of jumping ahead because chapter 15 deals with all of the financial statements, but we're going to cover that next week. We're just going to look simply at these 2 items in how they affect your income statement or your balance sheet. So anyway, that's what you're going to be looking at this week. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing this screen and go over to our course in Canvas. So let me do that. Here we are, actually right here. We're going to share that screen. And here we are. So I'm actually looking at my office hours. So I'm going to back out a little bit. And here I am on the home page in Canvas. And this week we are in module number 3. It's our second week in module number 3. We will be ending this week with another, no exams yet. We have a final exam, but we are going to be looking at our next case study, starting the 3rd case study or finishing the 3rd case study. So here's week 5. We already did that. We started looking at annuities and mortgages last week. And then we had this do not forget inflation. So this is a interesting case study. This is where you're going to be utilizing a sinking fund as well as figuring out how much inflation is going to grow the amount of money that you need. So in this particular case study, there's a certain amount of money you're going to need in 5 years. However, it's going to be more than that in 5 years because of inflation, because that's what you need today. But in 5 years, it's going to be actually higher. So you need to figure out how much inflation is going to take place. And then now what is the new total that you're going to need in 5 years or however long it is. And then you need to do a sinking fund. And that means how much money do I need to put away now every month in order to have that in the end of 5 years. So that's kind of the idea. So it's kind of 2-parted. So make sure you first figure out how much the actual amount is that you're going to be needing, and then do a sinking fund based off of that. And the sinking fund, I believe you learned about in chapter 12, the latter part of chapter 12. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, make sure you review that. And then as we move then into this week, you're going to be, of course, read me first. Make sure you read that because I put everything in the context of business as far as what you'll be learning, and then help Sienna. So you're going to put it in terms of her business and how you can help her with her inventory as well as her depreciation. And then you do have a study page for each chapter. In those study pages are videos by me working out some of the problems. Right here is for chapter 16. And then the same thing on chapter 17 on depreciation. There's a video of me. I apologize, the quality's not the greatest. I'm going to be redoing the videos probably this next session because they're pretty bad, and I'm trying to improve this course right now. So but unfortunately for you, you have the older videos, but they're still work. Most students still say that they're able to learn from them. So I just didn't have the technology then when I did it as I do now. Anyway, so then there's the formula sheet as well for those 2 chapters. And then you have a check-in assignment where you're going to help Sienna solve some problems for inventory and depreciation. To be honest with you, this is a little bit easier than what you've been learning about. And so most students do quite well on this check-in assignment. If you want the answers, get it to me by Thursday. If not, then just turn it in on Sunday. And then, of course, there's going to be a quiz on chapters 16 and 17. And then your case study that you started last week that I was just talking about, don't forget inflation, that's going to now be due this week. So I'm going to go ahead and just, rather than say start case study, I'm going to edit that to say complete case study. And it will be due, like I mentioned, this Sunday coming up. And it's worth 25 points, so don't skip it. It's worth 2 quizzes or 2 check-in assignments. So make sure you don't skip it because it is a high value or a high point assignment, and it's due on the 30th. Yep. So there you go. So that's it for week number 6. Please get a hold of me if you have any issues or concerns in my office on Mondays and Wednesdays, online on Thursdays, although this week particular, I'm going to be in the office on Thursday and not in the office on Wednesday, but I will be available online both of those times. So, all right, have a great week, everyone. You will see me once again on video next week for week number 7.